Welcome, Aries. I have pulled for you the Hanged One for this full moon in Leo on the 12th of February. This is going to be impacting particularly the creative area of your activities, where your friends, your recreation, your procreation, the way that you enjoy yourself and express your gifts freely among your peers. The Hanged One shows you being delayed, trying to gain an overview, a framework for something that you want to express. So you may be trying to formulate a plan or an outline of an activity or something that you're planning to promote in the future. This is relevant to your timeliness of launching something, so that you're trying to do the back work before you begin. You're collecting up the resources that you need, perhaps the assistance that's necessary in order for you to begin or start something with a clear goal in mind, with a clear script in mind. This is a general reading, Aries. Welcome. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I am doing a reading that may or may not resonate for you because it is a general reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. So, with the house of your social identity, the way others see you, is the Queen of Swords. And this is where you are mediating the different opinions, the knowledge of others, bringing them together in a way that allows you to mediate the information that is present for you to help others to come up with new ideas. Your curiosity is leading this charge, this ability to bring, to be open to new ideas first and foremost, but to bring together others who are thinking in a similar way, that have a need that they want to address, but you're trying to create a discourse, a conversation about alternatives, new methods, new ways to move forward, solutions. And in that regard, people see you as calm, objective, and dispassionate, which is not really your strong suit, Aries. You are opinionated and passionate in general. You have plenty to say about the things that matter to you, but what is characterizing your ability to lead the conversation or direct the conversation is your ability to detach yourself from your strong feelings and opinions. That is the key to success, and that's what signals to others that you are trustworthy. In the first house, the Three of Swords, it appears as though the subject of this inquiry, of this organization, this frame, is the desire to help people with pain, help you to understand your personal pain, your physical pain, your spiritual challenges in light of what you have come to understand about the responsibility that you have in creating a situation that was hurtful, that was heartbreaking, that disappointed you, or that failed. It is about that, addressing that failure with a sense of ownership around the conditions that created that disappointment. Even if you felt the rejection from someone else, there's a pattern here that you began to understand was setting you up over and over again to make similar choices that had already been demonstrated to you as not beneficial. And yet you gave your power away over and over again. This can relate to your physical health, a habit, a company, and when I say company, I mean a group of peers, habits and routines that disappointed you because your expectation was unrealistic. And so this conversation that you're convening is about addressing that, opening that up for solutions, helping people to see the link between their disappointment, their failures, and their own choices. In the fourth house, the house of your foundation, the Ace of Cups, this is about your home. And in many ways, I see your home as being the safety and sanctuary of your best creative productivity. This is where you open up your heart. This is where you protect your heart, but that what you're sharing with others comes from your own experience. The range of experience when we're talking about loss, disappointment, hurt, we're talking about personal emotions and feelings that you are opening up to as lessons for others, for yourself included. But the process of healing is what is paramount for you. This exercise in framing a conversation, looking at how you're preparing to launch something more publicly for public consumption is rooted in your effort at doing self-healing, something you just didn't begin yesterday. This is something you've been doing for a while, realizing that self-healing, being ongoing, it never really stops. This is something that you're now prepared to share with others, to look at healing as a central core of the way that you're finding solutions that you're sharing with others. I hope that makes sense. In the seventh house of your relationships, the Devil card is all about looking at the toxicity in your life. This is clearly what you are trying to make clear and explicit in your conversation, in your framing of effort. What is it that has hurt you? And often what has hurt us appears on the outside of our lives. It may come through jobs, relationships, the environment, ways that things that feel as though they're imposed upon us, when your healing journey is making clear to you that these are things that are matching our own inner vibration. So we are inclined to be in relationships that are hurtful if we have an illusion around what relationships can be, have difficulty judging the values or the support that others are willing to give to us, even though we are completely willing to support another. So you're understanding how external factors are really the culprits of energies that exist within us. And when we take control of our own intentions, our own purposes, our own desires as being authentic to us, we stop matching with things that don't serve us. That's a long way of saying that you are understanding toxicity in your environments, in your relationships, as the source of your own responsibility, where you're learning to step up for your part in any failures that you've experienced. I hope this reading is resonating for you, Aries. I'm experimenting with this format, going back to it so that the end screens look better. I tend to pack a lot of information and content in the end screens, and I want people to feel more inclined to find that information. If you enjoy this content, I always try to link more. I pulled the Envy card. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. I do believe that the project that you're looking to frame, the discussion that you're having, the outline that you're formulating, or the plan that you're formulating, is around owning our differences. It's around eliminating unrealistic standards that lead to unproductive comparisons. So I do think this is something that you are trying to consider and factor into your conversation. In other words, healing for one does not necessarily equate to healing for others. However, the process is the same. The creative process is the same. So one's stories are merely made available to others in order for them to find their truth in your truth. And not all of it may match, but that doesn't make it of value. The storytelling you're doing is about finding your own standard of productivity, your own standard of creativity, your own process, unlocking that, unlocking your health in a way that is about balance and equity, fairness, not only to others, but to you. And somehow your ability to take command of these ideas in your life may have inclined you to encounter a lot of envy or resentment from those that resented your power, your willingness to step up and to do something different for yourself. And that in many ways continues to be something that is a consideration in how you move yourself forward, how you break a trauma or a curse in your life, some kind of mistreatment that you've experienced. Your ability to be courageous actually draws the fear, it triggers the fear and the envy of others. In the first house, the Three of Swords is clarified by the Five of Cups. So we're definitely looking at heartbreak historically in our lives. So for you, Aries, I do see you identifying the pattern of heartbreak, the pattern of failure, looking at that, how it has historically existed for you and how it continues to leave its resonance in your present life. You're managing that by not only looking for deeper understanding of self in that pattern, but it is about becoming knowledgeable, grateful, aware that every heartbreak, failure, disappointment has actually helped you to understand yourself better, what you don't want, what doesn't work for you. And in that way, you're pleased with the current result of your pattern as you understand it and as you work with it, that you're actually to a place of being grateful for even the heartbreaks and disappointments that you've endured, understanding that each of them was a gift. In the fourth house, the Ace of Cups is clarified by the Devil, a repeat card here. So we're really dealing with toxicity. We're really dealing with our allegiance or alignment, our conformity to the status quo, how that has been an obstacle to us understanding that the role we've assumed, quite often for many of us, this is a role we have been assigned in childhood or in our formative years that we are unwittingly clinging to, right? The caretaker is a good example of that. This is something that you're working with structurally, how you can derive benefit from your deeper understanding of these patterns in a way that serves you. And it is necessarily going to serve others, but I don't think that it always feels that way. It feels as though as you reject the status quo, you reject the role that you've been assigned or your conformity to the rules and regulations of whatever group, tribe, family you belong to, that you're actually separating from people that you feel very closely bonded to. So I do feel like this push and pull in perhaps a family dynamic. You have grown, you've developed, you're moving in new directions, you're rejecting some of the old messages that you have absorbed along with other family members, but you're fighting to stay in the love of that family. You're fighting to stay in the connection of that family, a family that has not always supported you. In the 7th house of your significant others, the 9 of Cups is clarifying the devil. And having now drawn the devil twice, this is really about the process of identifying the structure that you're releasing. You're understanding the structure you're releasing, in other words, the status quo, the norms, the conventions, have been a source of rebellion for you, perhaps for a very long time. You may have always rebelled against these norms, these patterns, but there wasn't the parallel process of inner work. And now that you are thoroughly engaged in the inner work that helps you to understand how you have learned to manage your own emotions, to support yourself when others didn't provide that, and quite likely you were not supported in very many ways, given the assignment that you were given in your family as caretaker, as leader in some capacity. You were supposed to support others. And in that environment, you have learned, and it's taken a long time, how to love yourself, how to respect yourself, your boundaries, honor your own goals and expectations, to have desires, to feel deserving and worthy of the things that you want. This is what gives you the sense of satisfaction in your relationships now. It's something that is actually kind of a signature of your relationships, and it's quite likely that you share the love, the support very explicitly in your relationships, very consciously. Like you're aware that you didn't get this kind of love, support, or feedback growing up, but you now understand how valuable it is and how you must name it, declare it, identify it in order to experience the real joy and lightening that this is providing for you. And in the 10th house, the Queen of Swords is clarified by the Strength card. Because you are such a strong person, because you are so clear about what the right thing to do is, and because you are so strong, others do look to you. They do rely on you. And in that way, you are using the opportunity to be in conversation or discussion with others as an opportunity to share how you have survived, for many of you, some very unfair, unbalanced relationships and environments. You've had to do a lot on your own. It doesn't mean that you've always been single, doesn't mean that you've been unloved. It means that you've had to find your way through some very stressful situations on your own terms in order to simply survive them. You have never stinted on supporting those that needed help, and it's quite likely that many of you are a parent, a teacher, a caregiver, or a leader in some capacity where a lot is expected of you, and you are clear about that opportunity. If it isn't true in the past, it's going to be more true in the future. This is you taking on the responsibilities of leadership, and they are considerable. And for many of you, Aries, that may not be a way that you have often moved forward as a pioneer, as an independent. an initiator. You're used to going your own trail and welcoming those who follow, but everyone's on their own. And this represents a kind of sea change for you where you're owning the responsibilities of your leadership and the way that others look to you for answers, not just support, but for answers. I'm going to finish up this reading with a crystal oracle and hope you've enjoyed it. I will be attaching some end screens, a couple of videos, and playlists for your enjoyment if you enjoy the content. But thank you so much for sticking with me. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support that all of you give me. And I pulled the red tourmaline, and the key word is passion. I am the embodiment of passion. Nothing could be more fitting for you, Aries. Thank you so much. Until next time, namaste.